Hello everyone, and welcome back to another solo spooky story. My name's Rob, and today I'll be your host. For those of you that don't know, the solo stories are just short episodes, usually 10 minutes long, where it's just myself talking about a topic that I find interesting that maybe just doesn't have enough to cover a full-length episode. Or, we've had a bit of a pattern recently that it seems to cover pretty much cryptids and UFOs, and today is no different, as you'll have seen from the title. But yeah, whenever it is that you're listening to this, I hope you're enjoying it. You're ready to just sit back and have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and listen to the insanity that I'm about to throw at you for the next few minutes. As you'll have seen from the title, today we are in fact talking about the Loveland Frog, which it's 10 out of 10 for me already, just from the art I've seen alone, artist renditions, photoshops, and everything in between. It is phenomenal. I have seen it referred to as the Loveland Frogman or the Loveland Lizard Man, but we're going with Loveland Frogman. It's just phenomenal. Like, this is up there with just the goofiest of cryptids that we've seen so far. I would hold it up there in the same regard as the bat-winged monkey bird. This lad is just mad looking, and it's great. I can't wait to post some of the pictures I've seen online on Instagram so everyone can see this. So the Loveland frog, as I said, sometimes called the Loveland lizard, is a bipedal, vaguely reptilian animal, similar in size to a child. It's approximately 4 feet in height, or 120 centimeters, and it's supposedly been encountered multiple times in the area of Loveland, Ohio, in the States. And yeah, allegedly several times this creature has been sighted, and the sightings all seem to have been between 1955 and 1972. There's supposedly been more recently claimed sightings, but and I say in quotes, verified sightings are between 55 and 72. So we have a 12-year window here of sightings. The sightings describe this grey-coloured bipedal creature that seems to have some sort of frog-like head, bulging eyes, and then some have said either leathery or amphibian type skin. So they're two obviously quite different. And a standing height of, as I said, between kind of 3.5, 4 feet. The interesting thing about this straight away when I was just reading the description is it sounds actually mad similar to the grey alien sort of description. Bulging eyes, big head, grey coloured skin. It's pretty close to what we would associate with a grey, but it does go just that little bit further, that it does allegedly just look like a giant frog, which I just love. So the frog, or frogman, whatever you want to call him, was first claimed to be sighted in May 1955. A businessman is said to have seen 3 to 4 4-foot-tall frog-faced creatures squatting under a bridge near Loveland. So he's allegedly saying that he's seen numerous of them, firstly, which is brilliant. I love this. So he says he's driving along at night, and he says that he saw numerous creatures all standing there at the side of the road, just, I suppose, doing whatever it is that frog people do. Who are we to know? And so the story goes on to say that the businessman was just driving home. I think I saw some people say it was like 3:30 a.m, so obviously quite late, where he saw 3 bipedal greyish creatures standing there. So he allegedly stopped and observed them for a few minutes, and he claims that he could see that the creatures were conversing with one another, which I don't know how he could know that, but we'll go with it. He also alleges that they were standing around under a bridge, and that one of them was also holding a cylindrical, or as he described, wand-like device above its head. He says that this released sparks when it was waved, and that it was frightening enough that it inspired him to flee. That's his own words. So yes, the frog man creature has a magic wand. So he allegedly waved his wand around in the air, sparks came out of it, and when that happened, the witness fled. Not before, though, he noticed that there was apparently a strong smell of almonds left in the air, allegedly afterwards, which is a great little detail just to add to it. I love that. So it just really just such a strange occurrence, I suppose. Strange sighting. So going on then to 1972. So March 1972, a police officer named Ray Shockley allegedly observed the creature crossing the road at 1 a.m. So allegedly it was a very, very cold night. There wasn't any ice but that, it was a very cold night and it was dark. And the police officer says that he was driving along and he observed the creature in a crouching position. But then as he got closer to it, that the creature stood up tall and stared in his direction before climbing a guardrail separating the road and the ground, and just getting away, basically. They say that it escaped over the guardrail, and that allegedly afterwards, when he was investigating it, there was some scratch marks on the guardrail. But unfortunately, there's no evidence to support the scratches on the guardrail. Moving on then, there was another account similar enough actually to this police officer, where another police officer, Mark Matthews, only 2 weeks later, in March again, says that he encountered the creature on the road at night, seen from his patrol car. So he says that he was driving along and that he became concerned as he noticed that the creature began to stand up from a crouch stance, and he just kind of panicked. He didn't really know what to do. So as the creature was standing there looking at him in the quintessential American police officer manner, he drew his gun and shot at it. So he doesn't know if he made contact with it or not, but allegedly the creature managed to climb over the guardrail and get away again. So this was allegedly, that was the report made by him initially, but he's since come out to say, or at a later date anyway, claimed that none of that was accurate at all, and that he'd actually just seen a big lizard. He claimed it was a pet iguana, and he suggests that he decided to make his story as outlandish as it was, to make his colleague Shockey, the first police officer, as I seen quoted online, seem like less of a nut. So I don't know really what to make of that. Like, he's saying here that, oh no, I totally saw this thing, I shot it and it jumped away. But then he's kind of, obviously when he was getting enough attention, or I don't know, maybe getting the attention he didn't want, he recanted and went like, oh no, that actually didn't happen. I just, wanted my colleague to seem kind of normal, so I just decided to lean into it on his behalf and try to do him a solid. Which, if that's the case, it's a nice gesture, I suppose, but at the same time, I'm not really sure how his colleague would feel about this. A bit of a strange take, for sure, but, who are we to judge? We've not actually seen the creature ourselves, so we couldn't possibly know. Just for him recanting, he actually went on, he had an email interview with some journalists, and he says that it was no monster, it wasn't leathery, it didn't have matted fur, it wasn't 3 to 5 feet tall, it didn't stand up erect. The animal I saw was obviously some type of lizard. Someone obviously had it as a pet that either got too large for its aquarium, it must have escaped by accident, or they simply just got tired of it. It was less than 3 feet in length. It ran across the road and was probably blinded by my headlights. It presented no aggressive action. So he says he did try to shoot it to basically back up his partner's account, but that the creature obviously just got away, and he assumes it just died from the injury or from the night's freezing cold. He doesn't kind of go on to offer any further information after that, but it's a bit of a mad kind of pivot to go from, I shot at the frog creature, to, no, it was just a lizard, don't worry. So really, really strange. But as I said, these creatures were seen between 1955 and 1972. And it's such just a strange occurrence. I could only find one sighting online that is seemingly verified, I say with hesitancy, and it allegedly happened in 2016 in where there were 2 teenagers outside playing Pokemon Go, which I suppose they would be. 2016 actually was the year of Pokemon Go, now that I think about it, so it did kind of take over the nation and actually take over the world, basically, so it totally makes sense. I can see that. And they allege that they saw and even photographed what appears to be the creature. Now, I will share the photo online. It 100% is a hoax. I will say straight away. They have this kind of creature in water that's kind of green and has really reflective eyes, which, it's great. It totally looks real. And I suppose they just got caught up in all the hysteria. Maybe they're out looking for Pokemon and thought, you know what, Loveland actually has its own real life Pokemon, let's go find it. So they're kind of the most verified sightings I could find online, and they're just brilliant. I love the story. It's such a weird story. Just this frog creature with a magic wand just knocking about in this area in Ohio in the 50s, waving his wand about, causing sparks to shoot up in the air. I really don't know. Some people online have speculated that it's not in fact a monster, but it is in fact an alien, and it's from some alternative planet that they basically were here doing some bits and pieces, and that they tried to scare away this guy with their magic wand. I did say at the start, it does kind of match the description of grey aliens, so, you know, maybe it does lend some credence there that it could be an alien, but, you know, I don't really know where I stand on this one. I did come across some fairly intense argument online, and I won't link to it because it was people commenting, and it was people commenting in an argument kind of thread on Reddit, basically talking about how it couldn't be a frogman, and as far as they're concerned, it's a lizard man. And then people were like countering, saying like, obviously it's not a lizard man because it didn't have a tail. And there was a conversation that it just went on longer than it should have, and I kind of love it. It just, yeah, I think it kind of captured everything I feel about it, in that there were people actually legitimately arguing online about it being a lizard man instead of a frogman, as these things do happen. So, you know, I'll let everyone make up their own minds on this. As I said, don't really know where I stand. I love the idea of it maybe being an alien. You know, it'd be kind of cool that an alien's just rocking about with a magic wand, just shooting it up in the air. But, you know, who are we to judge? But yeah, let me know what you think about this one. What do you think the frogman was? Because I certainly don't know. And yeah, I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts on this. I'd love to get a poll going, actually, where we can decide once and for all, is it a frogman or a lizard man? These are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to reach out to us, you can get us on Instagram at the SpookyAF Pod. You can get us on Gmail at the SpookyAF@gmail.com. Or you can even get us now on our YouTube channel, the SpookyAF Podcast. It's in our link tree in our description, so you can go on there and you can follow us on YouTube and have a conversation in the comments as well. But with that, hope you enjoyed this short episode looking at one of the most bizarre creatures I've found so far, and you're having a good day. I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy, guys.